Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Thank you for joining me this evening as I bring a special reading to you all. Tonight, I'm going to do a reading having to do with the archangels. And so the archangels are, of course, closest to God, and we can call on them when we need to. And so tonight I have 4 piles here for you: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. And each pile has been pre-shuffled. I don't know what is in each pile. There are 4 random archangels that have been chosen here, which I researched beforehand, but I'm not sure which ones are here. So I've got pick a pile here for you. Pick which pile resonates for you, and I'll leave in the comments the timestamp so that you can click right to your video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and let's begin the reading. So for pile number 1, this is a cool protection amulet that was given to me by a really powerful male witch. This, for pile number 2, is a Lemurian crystal that harkens back to the days of Lemuria. That carries the energy of Lemuria. This stone right here is a beautiful pink rock that my wonderful friend gave to me. And this stone right here is a beautiful shimmering blue rock that I found that was in a tarot packet, I had some old tarot cards in a packet, and this stone rolled out of it when I found it. So go ahead and pick your pile, whatever resonates with you, pile 1, 2, 3, or 4, and let's begin. Let's start with pile number 1. I'm just gonna move the other piles out of the way here. Okay, so pile number 1, you chose the powerful amulet, and what we're answering tonight, I'm just gonna take a drink here before we start pile number 1. What we are asking here tonight is what archangel has a message for you, and what message is that? So with that, pile number 1, let us begin your reading. Oh, okay. So we have here Archangel Raziel, and her colors are rainbow, or sometimes in old writings, in old mysticism, Archangel Raziel is referred to as a man, but here we see her pictured as a woman. And of course, this can be genderless. That goes with all the archangels that we're going to be going through. And so let me just read a little bit that I found about Archangel Raziel for you guys, so you can get an idea of who she is here and what message she has for you. So Archangel Raziel is the angel of mysteries and the secrets of God. She reveals the holy secrets and the divine wisdom, and reveals understanding and esoteric information. Her colors are rainbow, and one of her sayings is, "Blessed are the mysteries that are coming through from wisdom." Creative energy starts in the astrals and then it manifests here in the 3D. This also has to do, Archangel Raziel rules over lawyers and those who enforce the laws, cosmic enforcers, and those that hold the secret mysteries. And you can see in this picture, there's a bunch of swirling colors, and indeed it is rainbow, and it talks about the mysteries of God. And you can see here, she's holding a book with an ancient symbol on it. So for those of you that picked pile number 1, you are picking up on some deep mysteries and learning some new information, and so and gaining a lot of wisdom from that. So for my pile number 1s, let's see what message Archangel Raziel has for you. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Okay, so the message that Archangel Raziel has for you, pal number one, is definitely to wake up. And that is because I see awaken here, and then the sun is also here too. Um, so I have one major arcana that I drew for each pile here, and actually you got another one. You got reason, which is the Hierophant. So you actually got two major arcanas here, and the Hierophant is like, you know, the male pope and the keeper of mysteries as well. The high priestess is typically the keeper of mysteries, but the Hierophant actually is the teacher that is teaching these mysteries. And so, and then the Four of Swords here is always looks like it's through a church window in the modern, there's a church window in the background, and then somebody is taking rest here. But the Four of Swords really tells me that awakening doesn't need to be such a challenging process, right? It can be awakening and learning new information feels like we have to create, we have to do so much research. We have to do so much learning behind the scenes. And with this message here, Archangel Raziel is telling you it's actually quite simple. It's quite easy. You need to pause a bit more, and you need to relax a bit more, and you need to leave space to receive some of this wisdom and information that's going to help you awaken. Awaken is the first card in this deck. It's the very first step that happens on your journey. We think, sometimes with awakening, we feel like the awakening is it, right? That we've awakened and we're understanding that there's more than what's in the physical 3D, but there's so much more after awakening. And Archangel Raziel wants you to get excited about the journey that happens after you actually awaken. And with the Hierophant here, what I'm seeing is Archangel Raziel wants you to understand that you're a teacher and that you have a lot of valuable information to share with others. And here you see the Hierophant is looking crunched over, looking over, and has what looks like it could even be some form of an ancient key dangling from his finger. And so that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be. He looks quite comfortable, and he looks quite at ease with what he's doing. He has a look of concentration, but he's doing it from an easeful position, and I think that that's what we see with the Four of Swords here. With here, the sword is actually running through this person's head, and so it says you might have been too much in your mental body. And then here with the Sun, and also with this Be Fearless card, I'm seeing that pal number one, you need to have a little bit more courage. Archangel Raziel is telling you that to be courageous, to step into the light, and that Archangel Uriel is here. Actually, I just noticed that right now on the Sun it says Archangel Uriel underneath here is here to help you do that. So you actually have two archangels working for you on your behalf right now. But the message is to be fearless and to go. And then this looks to me like, this is a watchtower with wisdom just blasting out of it. And to me, it looks like for you, pal number one, I keep hearing the word accepting yourself. And that's part of, the awakening process too, is accepting yourself and accepting the fact that you are different, and the things that you want to do and see and go, and the wisdom that you want to acquire is deep knowledge. And so to go in pursuit of this wisdom and this knowledge is, it takes concentration. It's not the easiest thing, but to do it joyously and to take rest as needed, and that it's not to receive great wisdom is not something that has to be so tedious for you, pile number one. If you felt that your acquisition of knowledge throughout your lifetime. If you've had to be, go through formal training, for example, with the Hierophant, or go to school, or take difficult tests, or if, part of your life has been a difficult test, it's telling you that information that you're receiving now is going to be received with much more ease, and that it could be just as simple as resting and having more fun, and that in those seemingly modest experiences that you will awaken, and you will find that you have a fearless heart, and you will shine a lot of wisdom out from the position that you stand in. So I just wanted to read this number 1 awaken card right here. It's funny because she has her eyes closed, but you can tell that her third eye and her crown chakra are really, really lighting up. And you can see the light above the crown there, and then the light above the crown there, and then above here too. So, something definitely is waking up for you, pal number 1. Okay, so it says, it is time to awaken. Humanity needs your unique illuminating light. The universe has been gently nudging you forward with signs, synchronicities, dreams, and coincidences. It's your time to awaken to your true creative potential and inherent power. Creative potential with the sun here. You are being propelled forward to stir the ancient wisdom that is already around you and in you. Enjoy this process of unfolding and watch consciously as your life transforms. You already possess all the tools you'll ever need on your journey, and this chapter is simply a reminder to pay attention to all the signs, okay? So you already possess the tools. As I was saying in the past, if you had to do some heavy learning and some heavy training, that training has served you well, and those experiences have served you well, and they've certainly given you a lot of wisdom, but the journey doesn't have to be so trying. Sometimes things get a little hazy. This 4 of Wands and this Be Fearless are both a little hazy, and so is this with the swirling energy, and it seems like things can be a little more flow for you, pal number 1, in the future. We don't have to be so serious as we were maybe in the past, and things can be a bit more flow for you, that you've earned this flow and you've earned this inner peace. And I do feel like the 4 of Swords is the it's the epitome of inner peace. It's finding the peace in your heart, away from the machinations of the mind, and any fear script that the mind is actually trying to run. And for pal number 1, I don't know if you've ever, I think about it all the time. I constantly feel as if inner peace is the most important thing to me at this point in my life. And maybe that is a big thing for you too, pal number 1. And just simply walking around outside and looking at the lights in the sky at night, and hearing the sounds of nature around you can be a beautiful experience. You don't even need to step far out of your backyard to experience that. So thank you, pal number 1. And that was your reading and your messages. Let's move on to pal number 2. Okay, pal number 2. So for pal number 2, you have the Lemurian stone here, holding the secret ancient Lemurian knowledge. And so if you were attracted to this Lemurian stone, let's see what your archangel has to say for you this evening. Okay, so we have Archangel Casael, okay, and we have Cosmic Connection, Strength, ooh, I love that, the Magician, Hangman, and Strength. Oh my God, Strength twice for you, pal number 2. So pal number 2, Archangel Casael, is actually is the angel of Saturn, and her color is, and in the sacred text they refer to Archangel Cassiel as a man, but here I'm going to refer to her as a woman. Archangel Cassiel governs over, is the angel of Saturn and Saturn day, and I'm actually filming this video on a Saturday, so it's quite appropriate. And I can, I only drew, my intention was to draw one one major arcana card here for you, but you actually got two more, the Hangman and the Magician, plus you got the Strength card. So pile number 2, let me just read you some material about Archangel Cassiel to get familiar with her. So Archangel Cassiel is the angel of Saturn, or Saturday. She governs tears and temperance. Her name means the speed of God. She is the patron of all overlooked people. When a person feels like they have nothing left to live for, she is there to let go of the distress of the past. Black color is her energy. And so you can see the sign of Saturn here on the left, and you can see the animals here, and then we have a tiger here as well, and then we have lions on the front of her cloak. And so this also, I feel, is someone who's very close to nature for you, pal number 2. And is that I think that's a yin and yang on her earrings. So she also presides over the darkness, and you can see that she has the crow, and then another, this almost looks like an Anubis, or I don't know, some kind of, I don't know what that animal is. That's a really interesting animal. But you can see her expression is somewhat pained, and then the white dove of peace is across her forehead. And this is because she is the angel of distress and tears and temperance. And so especially for those of people who have lost a loved one, for those who are going through difficult situations of loss or grief, Archangel Cassiel is here for you. So you can see here with Archangel Cassiel, strength coming through big time here, and you can see strength to me is, I mean, this looks like solar plexus energy to me too, but it looks like, in times of trouble, you have the strength that you need. This card too is always for me about nobility, management, being able to handle things in a way that is beautiful and simple. Complicated situations that might overrun and perplex other people are actually easy, can be handled easily with someone who is embodying this strength energy, because they're just like balm on like a wound. It's just, they know how to just soothe the trigger in such a beautiful way. And with strength here, I definitely see that for you, pile number 1. You have within you such a strong inner reserve. And if you've been through distress and situations where you felt like you just couldn't go on anymore, you really tapped into the power of strength. And I do think with this woman here too, there is somebody particular who, and I'm gonna, for those of you, pile number 2, who consider yourself star seeds, I'm going to say that you have a Lyrian, or Lyra actually is how we would say it, a connection with Lyra. Lyra is, a lot of times they're referred to as the cat people. And so you may have not only Archangel Cassiel, but also Lyran energy that is with you and a part of your everyday magic, because we've got the Magician here. And so I love this cosmic connection card. First of all, it's an 11, which I always think is kind of a number for oddballs. So for number 11, and this looks like, this cosmic connection almost looks like a spider when I look at it, and it just shows how varied and how what's the word I'm thinking of? How magician-like. You can work with literally any tool. The Magician has the wand, the pentacle, the cup, and the sword, and can literally pick up any tool and work with any tool. And it just shows how creative and how many raw talents you actually have, pile number 2. So this speaks to, and this also speaks to, you know, talents that have been hard won for you. Like, it hasn't always been easy. Through your strength and through your inner reserves, you've really persevered. And Archangel Kaziel is telling you that because, you know, things might have been hard, but you have collected significant gifts from these experiences. You have shored up and stored up much strength, and you have many avenues that are feeding you, not just Archangel Kaziel, but also Lyran energy, also magic, and the animal kingdom too, with the strength card here too, and the animals here as well. So you have a variety of connections available to you. And then also, I think with the hangman here, this has really been, you know, a time for you to pause and to get comfortable with kind of being upside down, right? And so I think Archangel Kaziel is saying, in the past, you've had to be very strong. You've had to persevere through many different situations. As a result of that, you now have basically a foot in a door into many different realms and helpers and people that are here for you, protecting you. And with this Lyran spirit right here, I see somebody who you wouldn't want to mess with. She's definitely the same thing with the tiger here and the magician. I feel like Archangel Kaziel is telling you, pile number 2, that you're not somebody that many people would want to mess with. Not because you are ruthless or you hurt people, but you have so many connections, and you have so many tools to work with, and you've been so disciplined with your study, and you've been willing to just hang in there and sit with it, that anyone who really tries to come in and do something to you with ill intent is gonna go up against a very worthy opponent, pile number 2. That you are not someone to be trifled with. I do think with this strength card here in the return, that it is nobility, right? There's a nobility in you. And even this magician right here, you can see her face is like, don't F with me. So, and then this just shows, you know, unending patience, right? With the Hanging Man and Saturn, it's just unending discipline and patience that you've had to establish these connections, and also to nurture them and nurture others around you, that you are just not one to be trifled with. And I'd like to read for you guys from my Cosmic Reading Cards book here. I'd like to read Strength number 30 for you guys, because I feel like that is quite present here in your reading. Okay, so this card comes to remind you of your inner strength and courage. Although you may be feeling weary and hopeless at this time, Archangel Kaziel, you are a lot stronger than you realize. Moving through this chapter of your life, you will understand the lesson of having to release your inner resistance and fears. By uncovering your true strength, you will have the courage to move through it with clarity, understanding, and compassion. Your prayers for strength have been heard. Release all fears that are blocking spiritual guidance. Breaking down walls will help you see all the synchronicities and signs communicated to you. Spirit teachers of love and light wish only to serve the highest good of all, to offer guidance and love and reminders of what you already hold within. You hold so much strength, courage, and determination and perseverance. This first step in uncovering and embracing your true strength is to accept your current state. whether it is vulnerability, powerlessness, or emotional fragility or weakness. The second step is surrendering to that universal life force of love. Allow the third step, empowerment, to flow into your life naturally. Strength and empowerment will come. Use this chapter to find the deepest source of strength and faith. To be all that you are, a spiritual warrior living in conscious freedom. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Like, you guys are not people to be trifled with. As much as you might have some trifling energy in your life right now, that's not to say that there aren't, those around you that wish that they could do something to harm you. But you are 10 steps in front of them, and you are a worthy opponent, and people need to understand that you've done the work and you've put in the work, and that's why where you are today. So thank you, pile number 2. I feel, doing your reading, I feel a respect for you in this reading that, I bow to you, pile number 2. It looks like you have really done the work, and you have the right to be respected, and you have those around you to help you. So thank you, pile number 2. And let's move on then to pile number 3. Okay, I always like to take a drink of water in between the readings. So for pile number 3, you chose this beautiful pink rock that my friend gave to me. One of my good dear friends gave me this beautiful pink rock. So all ready for you, pile number 3, what do we have on tap? What archangel is trying to give you a message right now? Okay, this is Archangel Zavkael. Okay, Archangel Zavkael means the knowledge of God, understanding and compassion. Standing in the heavenly clouds and watching over people with love and understanding. The energy light color is blue for this archangel, and they call this archangel the watchtower of God. She is Archangel Zaphakiel, is the great cosmic mother who protects from evil and helps us face our fears and overcome. So that is Archangel Zaphakiel, knowledge of God, and the great cosmic mother who protects us from evil. Okay, and you can see her here with her wings spread and her arms up in the sky, and that beautiful blue light behind her. So for those of you that resonate with the color blue, pile number 3, this is also for you. Ooh, look at that. Electric shadow. Hope. Ooh. Huh. So, for those of you that chose pile number 3, I definitely see you with pile number 3 with having gone through some very difficult times with the shadow self here, and also the 7 of Swords. And I think, the 7 of Swords for me are always where other people may have wronged us, right? And it may have touched on elements in our shadow self. So the shadow self is really just the parts of us that we've denied, that we've tried to put on other people, or that we have, that we've disowned, parts of us that we would rather not. Even as I'm talking about this, I feel a distance from it. And so I think pile number 3, I feel like you might have distanced yourself from the knowledge or the truth of some situation, and might not have seen the truth for what it is, because it was a very painful situation. And with the Master of Flames here, what I see here is somebody who knows the truth, and somebody who has basically aged through wisdom, and somebody who would never lie or betray or hurt another soul because they know who they are. And I think I mean, we all have times in our lives when we are betrayed and when others betrayed us, or when we betray or others betray us. But the Master of Flames here is almost like it's almost like a Mr. Miyagi situation, like the Karate Kid. It's like, this is if the Karate Kid grew up to be a master, right? And through all of these hardships and pain, it's like you've become like a master over yourself and your shadow self. And I really see that here with the Hierophant too. There's a lot of authority here for you, pile number 3, and there's a lot of hope for you too. So if you've been through some very challenging situations in the past that have brought you face to face with your shadow, especially with regard to like a relationship with your father, or a relationship with like a male family member, whether that be an uncle, a grandfather, or a father, or a brother, that you have now become that authority. You have now become the ruler of your domain, and you will not take orders from anybody else or accept anybody else's authority over your own. And you can see that here with the Hierophant as well. The Hierophant is mature in his knowledge or her knowledge, and the Hierophant is holding the keys. In this version, the Hierophant is holding on to the sign of Venus. So you might be a Taurus or have someone in your life who is a Taurus. But it really shows that through these experiences, you've really come to master over them, and you've done this with the help of Archangel Zaphael. And Archangel Zaphael is really telling you that, you've had some hard-earned lessons with bitterness and betrayal, but that there is so much hope for you, and there's so much hope for the future, and softness too. I see the peacock feathers here, and the beauty, and with Venus here holding on to Venus, which of course is looking at the Venus Taurus energy with the Hierophant. But there's so much hope for you, and I feel like situations that really caused you to have to narrow yourself into a pinhole and become almost as tiny as a pinhole and like shrink yourself are coming to an end. Those situations are coming to an end through the aid of Archangel Zaphael, and also just because of your own hard work as well. And I feel like that is being readily acknowledged, and there's a big thumbs up there for the work that you've done with that. But Archangel Zaphael is coming through with a message of hope for you. So I'd like to read this number 16 hope card here. Number 16, hope. Feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, afraid, and defeated are a few of the symptoms you can experience when passing through an emotional storm. All is not as it seems. That's the Hierophant. Is the mudra for the Hierophant is this, and it's, what you see is not all that there is. The passing storm will uncover suppressed emotional energy that is in need of clearing and balancing. As challenging as it may seem, seeing the passing gray clouds is an opportunity to grow, learn, and heal and transform limiting behavioral patterns and beliefs. It is not about staying positive through the storm. It is about understanding and truly seeing the imbalances and the wounds from within, that you attract this energy into your space. Clouds do pass and will continue to pass until you learn to truly see the underlying message and lesson. Only then will you transcend the fear and irritability of these challenging cycles. Once you are able to understand your magnetic connection to the challenges that surround you and heal those imbalances, with love. Storms will cease to affect you as they did. For now, there is stillness and hope in knowing that the sun still shines bright behind the passing clouds. This is literally all about facing your shadow self and the part of you that has kind of hung on to these challenges, or maybe some of the resentment and bitterness from these situations, and realizing the role that you played in them. Now, that is not to take away from what anyone else did or anyone else's accountability, but that is really just to level up in yourself and grow. And actually, I see here Archangel Zavkael is kind of raising the roof and helping you understand, and pulling up all of that past stuff, pulling it up out of the root for you, so that you can have hope, so that you can become the master, the Mr. Miyagi of your world, and so that you can understand that situations are often much deeper than they appear on the outside. So thank you for that, pile number 3. And next we will move on to pile number 4. Okay, so before we move on to pile number 4, this is our last pile, and we're going to see what archangel we come up with here. We have a beautiful blue stone that I found in a old lost pack of tarot cards. So for those of you that picked pile number 4, this is your archangel. Your archangel is Archangel Chamael, okay, or Chamael. And this is the angel of peaceful relationships, unconditional love, inner peace, resolving conflicts, and nurturing romantic love. The color of this archangel is pink. It's comforting. This archangel supposedly comforted Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And this card also is, this archangel also is watching over those who have been through a divorce or are going through divorce, and helping those release toxic codependency in their relationships. So for Archangel Chamael, this is your reading. This is the beautiful Chamael, and looking at the angel of peaceful relationships. Ooh. Ooh. So right away, of course, with Archangel Chamael, I see this beautiful number 1. This is the indigo, or the indigo child, or the representation of the magician. So you also have 2 major arcana cards here as well, which means that your message from Archangel Chamael is a very, very strong, resounding message. And I feel like for you, pile number 4, that you often have incidents of clairaudience, and it could very well be Archangel Chamael. You might also see certain things at night, like outlines of various things in your room when you're going to sleep at night. Archangel Chamael is really reaching out to you, and because I see so many legions behind her, she comes to you in various forms. It's not always just, she shows up for you in the form of people as well, I feel, with her energy. And that would make sense because she is the archangel of peaceful relationships. And, what's really interesting here is we have the Empress, but we also have a child. And of course, we always say that the Empress is pregnant. Either, it doesn't have to mean with an actual child. It can be with ideas, it can be with projects, it can be the end of a creative project coming to fruition. You could be at the seed stage where you're just starting. With the new chapter here, I do feel like it's more of a seed stage, and also with the number 1 with the magician. There's so much creativity for you here. Pile number 4, World Within Worlds, says that things are a little tricky. And I see that here with the magician. things are a little tricky, pile number 4, and they're not always what you think. In this card, the Hangman, he's actually is standing upright in this deck. It's the first deck where I've ever seen a hangman that actually isn't upside down. So it's a bit tricky. That just shows me that you have gone through a pause phase. You have gone through the phase where you have to hold still and hold your ground, and you're like bursting forth with creativity and manifestations and new energy and new beginnings, and you're seeing the world within worlds, and things are happening at a rapid pace for you too, pile number 4. And so you might be at a very new beginning in your life, something that you've never had before. And actually, I feel pulled between these two cards right here. Like, I don't know which one I want to read from my book. And so this is the world within worlds and the new chapter. Both are equally compelling. And I feel like you could be just so, pile number 4, you could be so inundated with new things and new ideas and with new possibilities that it's just, sometimes it feels like you're tap dancing, or it's just hard to keep up. And Archangel Kamael is here to tell you that, and I love her expression too, because it's almost a little mischievous in a way. Although she is the angel of peaceful relationships, she has a mischievous look on her face, or a very knowing look. And I feel like so does this indigo child here too. It's like you're seeing the signs and the synchronicities. You're getting what's going on. And you know that you're in a very creative phase and that you should take advantage of that. And that maybe some of you are actually going to be mothers and have a child. It doesn't have to be that way, but you could be in a new relationship as well. You could be in a new relationship that is like something you've never had before, and that's why we're seeing this new chapter and this presentation of this beautiful new magic in your life. It's something that's very like young energy, right? But it's straight magical. And even here, this hangman has an expression on his face like, haha, I'm standing on a live wire. So I think that Archangel Kamael is saying she knows that you've got a lot going on, and her hand was in part of that, and she's happy for you. She loves that you're so excited and overjoyed about the creative possibilities, and if you aren't, she wants you to be, and wants you to see like how many synchronicities and signs are out there, and how excited you can be about that, and how at the end of the day it's really going to lead you to abundance and fulfillment, and it's going to give you everything that you want and need. At the end of the day is you're going to be loved and cared for and adored. And so I feel like I'm actually pulled between this worlds within worlds and the new chapter, because they're both really exciting. I think I'm going to go with the worlds within worlds, since she's above the Empress, and I like the Empress for this reading. So let's go with this card, number 36. Okay. So it says, this card serves as a reminder to look within yourself for answers. It's wonderful that you're so open to the opinions of others, but be discerning. Use your inner knowing to decipher and interpret what feels right for you. Many look for the source of life outside of themselves. But if you truly wish to connect with the greater pool of conscious love, look within. Inside you is the cosmic universe spans with inner worlds and stars. Yes, inside you. You are a master and creator of the worlds and galaxies within you. How are you as the creator ultimately affects the outer world that you are also a part of. See yourself as the greater body, and within you the cell that also needs to hold its vibration and healthy light. You as a creative master can affect your cells and worlds by your thoughts, actions, and words. Raising the healthy light of your cells raises your own vibrational light, thus radiating planetary light as a whole. If a cell in your body is imbalanced and sick, that sickness slowly starts to spread to the rest of your body. See the earth as a cell in the body of the universal energy. It is vital that the vibration of this earth is raised to positively affect the greater universal body. So
peace comes from within the souls of men when they realize their oneness with the universe, when they realize it is really everywhere. It is in each one of us, a world within a world. So that's like ultimate creative power. The universe is within you. Archangel Chamael is looking on with kind of a I know what you know kind of a face, and I see that a lot in this reading. And so I think for you, pile number 4, it's just about accepting that and knowing that literally you can create anything you want. Like abundance is yours with the Empress. And so embrace your new projects with great vigor and do the things that you love the most. So thank you, pile number 4. That is your reading. And thank you everyone for being with me here tonight. God bless, and we'll see you soon.